Hello and welcome to 10-Pin City, Sydney, with the excitement of the inaugural Australian Bowling Cup. You're watching Kegel, Rollin Thunder, with the nation's best bowlers teaming up to bowl for Australian glory. Featuring the doubles Baker format, 8 teams of 2 players have been divided into 2 pools, Pool A and Pool B. 3 matches per team in each pool, 2 points per win and 1 point per draw. The pair with the most points standing in each pool will progress to the final and will feature in a bowling battle for the Australian Bowling Cup. Today we welcome back Pool A with 2 tremendous showdowns. This is the 3rd and final match. For each of Pool A's contestants, it's do or die. Desperate points are needed today. Here is the Pool A ladder heading into today's 3rd matches. David Porto and Matt Riley are on 3 points, along with Blayne, Fletcher and Sean Bowling, also on 3 after the thrilling draw we saw recently. Voukolos and Emma Walsh still in the tournament on 2. And who would have thought this? Jason Belmonte and Sam Cooley with no points heading into the final lot of pool matches. Now for Pool A, match 9. Jason Belmonte and Sam Cooley looking to end their tournament in style up against David Porto and Matt Riley. Kegel Rollin Thunder continuing with match 9. Jason Belmonte and Sam Cooley up against David Porto and Matt Riley. Belmonte and Cooley, well, they're going for pride here. Porto and Riley on 3 points. A victory won't seem secure, but pretty much into the final. Sam Cooley.
Strike first up. Crossing over to Brooklyn and tripping the 6-pin. See what Sam thought of that. He thought that was quite funny. Interesting situation. As you said, I mean, playing for pride, but I don't think they're going to lie down. They're going to want to shoot a big game, whereas it's a vitally important match for David and Matt. They need a win to give themselves a decent opportunity at getting into that final match.
Well, if Jason and Sam win, then it basically turns in the next match into a semi-final, doesn't it? Between Blayne, Fletcher and Sean Bowling and Voukolos and Emma Walsh.
That's it. If, yeah, the other 2 teams are certainly going to be rooting for Sam and Jason to win this game and give them the opportunity to win that next match and get into that final. So it's still all to play for, and it's going to be a very interesting game. David, frame 1.
Here is David Porto with his shot. Leaves 3 standing.
A little high, leaves a 2-4-7. Didn't quite get the ball to where he wanted to down lane. Was always inside, just a little right off of his hand for the left-hander. Went through the headpin. Breaks up the split, leaves himself a pretty makeable spare.
David Porto. He's had some clutch moments so far during this tournament. Delivers on this occasion yet again. Much needed spare. Now it's over to his teammate Matt Riley. This is Kegel Rollin Thunder from 10-Pin City in Lincoln in Sydney. Peter Basolda's Paul Delaney and Daniel Webb with you.
Different shirt this week, Peter. Coming out with the tiger colours here. Let's see what Matt working on spare frame 2.
And
just again, we're seeing that a lot here. They just can't get it out to their break point, can't get to the pocket, crossing over, leaving the spares.
So much riding on this game for Matt and David, and they've just come out the first 2 shots a little bit tentative. Let's hope Matt can just knock this spare over, not lose any momentum, and then they can settle back down and start making some better shots.
We should explain too, as Matt comes in looking for his spare, gets it. Important one, that one for Matt Riley. Back-to-back spares for him and David Porto. To talk once again about the oil on the lane and how I know they've had the warm up, these 2, but just getting used to how the conditions change week in, week out.
That's what Jason's said to him previous weeks, is that invisible oil that's out on the lane. It's designed to protect the lane surface from the bowling balls and the friction. Where we apply that oil and how far and what distance will affect how that ball reacts as it travels down the lane. So they've just oiled the lanes freshly with the latest Kegel machine. And there's a lot of oil, probably about 2/3 of the way down. There'll be a thin film of oil from the foul line, 2/3 of the way down, and the last third will be very dry. And as we bowl, we're going to pull that oil off the front of the lane, and we're going to push it down towards the back of the lane, and that will affect how the bowling ball travels down the lane and ultimately reacts.
Impressive spare there for Jason Belmonte. He'll be disappointed he didn't get the strike. It's unusual for him to leave the 10 standing, given, as you have explained, both of you, Paul and Daniel, in previous weeks, just how hard he bowls the ball with those extra revolutions that any other bowler gets. More often than not, when he hits the target, they all go flying.
The interesting thing is the speed and power that Jason can bowl at, but what we tend to forget sometimes is how accurate and how good he is at repeating shots.
Here's Sam Cooley, and gets the strike.
Second strike.
Crowd like that
Another
one.
chuckle. Another chuckle. He knows. Not quite where he wanted it, but they fell over anyway.
Interesting. We're only pride riding on this. Do you think that Sam's able to loosen up a little bit, Daniel, and that's why you're seeing a little bit of late carry and some quite good breaks?
Exactly, and I think that's what most of them need to be doing. Just loosen up a little bit more, have a bit more fun out on the lanes, because that's what it's all about. Bowling's all about having a good time.
Very easy for us sat here watching, Peter. Very difficult under the TV lights out there.
There's David Porto in now and delivers a strike.
And that was a nice shot. Straight out to his break point, hit where he was aiming for. Came out nice into the pocket, never looked like missing all 10.
Terrific shot there from David Porto, two-time Australian Open champion, 2006 and 2013.
He's got a lot of heart, David. You'll never see him back down from a contest. He does enjoy getting out there in the thick of things and throwing good shots under pressure. Matt looking for a strike. 2 pins behind. This will be to take an 8-pin lead in frame number 4.
Here's Matt Riley. And bang, gets it. Back-to-back strikes. Over to you, Jason Belmonte.
Looks like Matt's made a little move left on the lane, and that's what Matt's good at. He's got a high-speed, high-rev game as well, and he's gone to what he knows best, and he's gone further left with a ball that hooks more, and he's covering more distance of the lane, and that's when Matt feels a little bit more at home, when he can hook that bowling ball.
The two-handed marvel, the best in the world, Jason Belmonte. Can he get this one on target? He does. Gets the strike. Big one there for Jason Belmonte. Sam Cooley. Let's see how he reacts to this one, and he won't be happy with it.
See, after the last 2 shots, didn't quite get to the pocket where he wanted. He was looking to make that adjustment. He made an adjustment there. Not quite what he needed. Still didn't get to the right part of the pocket. Bit high.
As in previous weeks, Sam's just struggling to get that ball right, as Daniel said, and get it down to that break point. His miss has been left for the first 2 matches, and on that shot there.
You can see why he's been so successful. Just look at his temperament, as we've seen right throughout the tournament. Yes, they haven't had the results, but not much changes from him. Goes back to that poker playing. I'd be convinced, if I was playing poker against Sam Cooley, I'd be convinced he'd have pocket aces. He's probably got a 2-7.
He's certainly able to hide his emotions. I've known Sam from a very young age, and very dedicated, loves bowling, and he's certainly done very well for himself.
Well, it is David Porto up now.
What an opportunity for David. That 7 count there, 87 in the 4th frame, working on a spare. David can get out to an 11-pin lead with 3 in a row here, frame 5.
And is it going to fall? And the 8 stays.
That was a little right off David's hand there. Not happy with himself, but terms of the situation, we would call that a good 9. Could have been much worse. Spare here, and we will have an even game through 5 frames.
With, of course, David and Matt going for a spot in the final. Gets the spare, no dramas there. A win and a draw for David Porto and Matt Riley so far in the Kegel Rollin Thunder.
Here's the big man from Tasmania.
Matt Riley, the Tasmanian Devil. And back-to-back strikes for Matt Riley. Likes that one.
Looks much better this week, Peter. He's settled in. He's playing his A game. His A game is hooking that bowling ball, getting left, sending that ball out, and using that big revolutions that he has. Great reaction from Matt.
Don't forget bowling, great way to have celebrations. Well, you're talking about different parties, birthday parties. Right way to get into the sport and gets a strike. The power of Jason Belmonte getting the strike.
Yeah, I think I would have only had 1 or 2 in my career, but Jason seems to send that head pin back across at the 10 pin every other shot.
With revs to die for like that, that's a beautiful strike.
Such power.
Great stuff from Jason Belmonte. Yeah, head to bowl.com.au, folks. Find your local centre. Social night out. Get the kids involved. Great stuff. Head to a centre after we're finished, in fact. Go for a bowl.
Never a better time to go bowling.
Sam Cooley. Well, this is a tricky split that he's left himself here.
He pushed that one wider the last few. He's pulled it in. It's come up too high, and that one trying to correct that, overcorrected maybe just a little bit too much. Push it a fraction too wide. Just get it down.
Yeah, seems to be fighting with himself, Daniel. Making adjustments off bad shots and just not quite comfortable on the lanes.
Exactly. I mean, Sam is a phenomenal bowler. He's achieved so much at such a young age. He won the Australian Masters, winning himself $25,000. This guy can bowl. It's just today's his day.
Looking for a spare, but doesn't get it. Open frame.
Took out the hardest pins remaining and left the easiest one, the head pin. Big opportunity for David Porto here. Open frame, as we mentioned before, in this short format. Leave that door open. It's very important to jump on the opponent's mistake.
David Porto. Also a study of concentration.
Look for a bit of a reaction here if he makes the double.
It's a big moment for him. Needs it to hook, it does. Gets the strike.
Little fist bump from David.
I think it'll be a bit more than a little clenched fist and then a high five from Matt Riley if he can keep it going here with 3 in a row. Massive moment coming.
This is where Matt's looking to really hammer home the advantage now. Get himself out to a big lead, frame 8.
It's a big shot for Riley. Come on. Gets the strike.
And this is what we like to see here with this particular format. These 2 guys, with Matt and David, they're really bouncing off each other. They're really getting that momentum going and being able to follow it through the game, which is really important in this format.
I've got the feeling, I mean, Matt's such a talented bowler, but in the first 2 matches, and again here today, David Porto just driving it home, pushing Matt along, and he's responded, and they've got the forward momentum going in this match.
Need a strike here, Jason Belmonte. Knocks them all over. Much needed strike from Belmonte. It still is. Certainly game on here.
Must strike frame 9, Peter. To have a chance in this game, must strike to leave Jason with a chance in the 10th frame.
They're behind the 8 ball here. Jason and Sam. Hasn't delivered a lot of strikes in the tournament, but he does here.
That's the shot he's been looking for.
That's what he's capable of. Well done,
High
Sam.
fives from Belmo.
And you just have a look at his face there from Sam Cooley. He just said, about time. He had that look about him, didn't he?
That's a light bulb moment right there.
Jason the Stamp, still with the opportunity for 225 if Jason strikes out in the 10th frame. David and Matt, possible 257, but they will be looking at closing out this game here. David Porto with another strike would almost put this game to bed.
Big moment. David Porto in with his shot. And he's got it!
David Porto, take a bow.
Wow.
As soon as that come off his hand, he knew he was in trouble. But it got down there, just held in the oil. Lucky to get that scout. That was...
Jason just having a look there, just asking David if you like that one.
Oh.
Matt Riley, 9 or more, wins this game. Frame 10, working on 4 strikes in a row.
He's in the zone. Matt Riley for the win. Need to take himself with David Porto to 5 points overall, and they've got the win.
Rebounded very well. They were up in game 2, and few open frames led in Blayne, Sean Bowling, and that ended up in a draw, 192. So they could have been deflated after that, but they've come back this game and really done well, and 5 points, excellent return on their 3 matches.
Well, this could come down to a pin count, as we've been saying. So vital here that he continues this role. Matt Riley. Can he deliver another one? He can't.
That'll be enough, Peter. That brings him over to 240 mark, and Jason and Sam can only strike out for 225. So that's game for Matt and David, and that's our highest game so far. So great bowling from Matt and David.
It puts him in the box seat to make the final. Will come down to 4 and against, possibly. The boys in good shape to make the final of the Australian Bowling Cup. The tournament comes to an end. Certainly in the box seat now to make the final is David Porto and Matt Riley. Comprehensive today. Well, it was close early here, Daniel, but in the end, comprehensive stuff by David Porto and Matt Riley.
Well, that's it. That's what we like to see here in this format. The 2 boys, Riley and Porto, really coming together as a doubles pairing, closing their frames and really bringing it home, defeating the favourites of our tournament here.
There they go away winless, Cooley and Belmonte, but they're on 5 points now. Riley and Porto after that win. Well, David, you first of all, you've done well. You've sent the team of Jason and Sam home winless.
Yeah, unbelievable. No one would have expected that coming into today. No one.
Terrific performance from you guys then, Matt.
Oh, look, it was great. It was. I made a big move with a couple of balls left in practice, and it paid off. So I'm very happy. And look, those 2 guys, Sam's probably one of the best in Australia. Belmo's the best in the world, and for them to go home now is unreal. Like, no one would have picked it.
Welcome back to Kegel Rollin Thunder. You're watching Australia's best 10-pin bowlers in action here at 10-pin City in Sydney. Here we go with the 3rd and final round match for Pool A. It's Blayne, Fletcher and Sean Bowling, the young guns, head-to-head against Voukolos and Emma Walsh. So here is the table as we head into this final match. We've got on 5 points David Porto and Matt Riley. On 3 points, Blayne, Fletcher and Sean Bowling. On 2 points, their tournament is over now. Voukolos and Emma Walsh. Jason Belmonte and Sam Cooley didn't register a win throughout the competition. So if Blayne, Fletcher and Sean Bowling win this match with a score of 252 or more, they will go through to the final. If not, then through to the final will be David Porto and Matt Riley. Here we go. Spot in the final up for grabs. And it is Voukolos to get things underway. This last match of Pool A. Walsh can still have a big say in what happens. Rebecca looking for a strike and leaves the 8-pin standing.
That's it. Push that ball. This ball, unlike other weeks, got a bit stronger reaction here. Just comes up a little bit too high. Doesn't quite get to where she wanted it. With someone like Beck, 14 300 games, 11-time Australian representative, she knows what to do. She'll make the adjustment.
Going for the spare. And we'll get it. So it's over now to the boys. Now, the equation is this. Blayne and Sean not only need to win, but have a score of 252 or more. The impressive part here, Paul, is you were telling me they knew straight away after the last match the equation.
Straight away, I turned around and asked what Sean and Blayne needed to get, and Sean told me they need 252 and a W, a big win, to see them into the final today.
Need to get things underway with a strike. Can they do it? They can.
Not the way he was hoping for that strike, but he'll take it anyway. Smiles all around for the two. Ball reading a little bit too much, going in the Brooklyn pocket.
And they're going to need all of their hits this game. They're going to need every bit of luck and every bit of skill that these two young lads certainly have to get that 252 plus.
Well, for those people that were watching a fortnight ago, they are in this position because of this man here, Blayne Fletcher, with 3 strikes to force a draw. Otherwise, they'd be out of the competition. And he's going to need a spare here.
Always
they can't
left
leave
off
any open frames, can they?
No, that was, I mean, always left off of his hand there for Blayne. Fortunate to break up the split. Going to have to spare this and then really start throwing some strikes, Blayne and Sean.
Here's Blayne. Gets the spare. Confidently done.
Still got plenty of time, plenty of room this game. Maximum 280. Going to have to start striking.
Here's Emma Walsh.
Emma's looked good so far in the first 2 matches. First shot in frame 3, working on a spare.
Here is Emma. Here's her shot. It's looking good. This time it was the 9 that stayed up. You can tell, Paul, from your reaction that you expected it to go.
You can't throw the ball any better. 99 out of 100 times that ball is going to strike perfect in the pocket. Looking for that deflection again, and the ball just didn't deflect enough and drove straight past the 9-pin. We would say in bowling that is the only true tap, as in the only true 9-pin count that you can call yourself unlucky to leave.
For the spare. And gets it. So a spare for Emma Walsh. It's a tight match.
Daniel, looks like they've come out this week with a couple of stronger, bigger hooking bowling balls to try and open up this lane.
Well, that's it. Both bowlers seem to have chosen asymmetrical bowling balls, trying to get that big, stronger reaction into the pocket, carry the pins for them. We've seen in the last few weeks that they've got no problem in getting to the pocket. It's just carrying those last couple of pins that get them those strikes that they need.
Beck Voukolos, frame 3, 1 pin behind, working on the spare.
Here is Beck. It's at the hook. It does. Gets the strike.
So as we spoke about in previous weeks about the outside of the bowling ball with the covers, and we're talking about the pearl, the hybrid, and then the solid covers. You've also got the inside of the bowling ball, and we have a symmetrical core, which is the engine of the ball, and that tends to give you a little bit smoother and kinder reaction. We've got the asim bowling balls, which is a different shape in the core, bigger engine, will hook more and rev up quicker.
The aptly named Sean Bowling. Looking for a strike, can't get it. They need strikes, the boys.
Spares are just not going to get it done, but let's see. Sean can spare this, and then they will need to string those strikes together. They are more than capable if these two boys start striking.
With a spare here, that gives them a high score of 268. They do need those strikes, as Paul said. A nice string.
Sean Bowling gets the spare. Nice spare for him. Bowl.com.au is the website there too, folks. If you want to get involved in 10-pin bowling, no matter the age, get involved in what is a great sport. Bowl.com.au to find your local centre.
Head down there this afternoon, guys. You won't be disappointed. Everyone can enjoy a game of bowling.
Blayne Fletcher looking for a strike and can't get it.
So that's going to leave them with the situation where Blayne's going to have to cover the spare, and they're going to have to strike out from here on in to make it through to the final.
That certainly is now advantage Matt Riley and David Porto to make it through to the final from Pool A. Needs to spare, otherwise it is game over. The ball just stayed up.
Just enough.
So that leaves them with needing 8 consecutive strikes. The boys Blayne and Sean.
They did do it yesterday in a warm-up match, but it's a bit different, isn't it?
Just
Bring
a little
it to
bit.
the lights here and under pressure.
All different pressure. The heat from the lights, the cameras, the pressure.
If 2 young lads are capable of doing it, it would be Sean and Blayne.
Don't tell them they can't. Here is Emma Walsh.
Beautiful strike there from Emma. Really got under that ball.
She did very well. Great stuff there from Emma Walsh. So it'll be Beck, Voukolos to continue here. They're the ones getting the strikes. For a high-scoring match.
Sit.
Is this one a little late? Does, but just misses as the 7 stays up.
These girls have been unlucky this match. That was a fantastic shot again. High flush in the pocket, exactly where she wanted that ball to be. And the 4-pin jumped over the top of the 7-pin to leave a flush 7 off the left kickboard and in front of it.
Looking for the spare, and will get it.
I think we've seen, Peter, that the high standard of 10-pin bowling in Australia. If you look, the best bowler in the world, Jason Belmonte, and you know, as good as Jason is and as good as Sam is his bowling partner, they lost their 3 games. Level only has to drop just that small percentage, and the level of competition in this event is so high that they ended up losing their 3 games, and no one would have expected that.
Strike needed here for Sean Bowling. Has he got it? No, he hasn't.
That's going to be it. That's enough to see David Porto and Matt Riley through to the final of the Kegel Rolling Thunder event.
They will go through from Group A, Pool A. David Porto and Matt Riley will go through to the final. But that aside, let's focus on this match because it's still a close one here. Leaves one out there, so an open frame.
5 frames in, and Beck and Emma are 25 pins in front. Still, as we've seen with the previous matches, anything can happen down the last 5 frames of this game.
They change so quickly, don't they? Blayne Fletcher. What a great future in the sport these two have. Blayne Fletcher and Sean Bowling. 2 hands of Blayne Fletcher, just like Jason Belmonte, and he delivers. Got a feeling they're going to go on a run here. It falls just short.
You feel that they're going to loosen up and the ball comes off a little easier. And string some strikes together. Let's see Emma in frame 6. Definitely with her husband Cameron, they've gone to a stronger ball, and Cameron's her coach who's here today, and they've worked out just how she can open this lane up a little bit more. From Ballina in northern New South Wales, that's her local bowling centre.
Oh, leaves the 7 on this occasion.
Great shot again. A lot lot of great bowling centres Australia-wide. We've got a lot of bowling centres in the metropolitan area and also in regional areas. There's great bowling centres and great venues that you can go and have a game of bowling, have a great time, enjoy yourselves.
Yeah, that's for sure. Some terrific centres around the place. And appreciate the support too of 10-pin Bowling Australia in helping with this event. So their CEO, Cara Honeychurch, is here today. Commonwealth Games gold medalist.
One of the greatest women players that has ever bowled in, not only in Australia, worldwide. When she bowled the Commonwealth Games in Kuala Lumpur, they had a cheer squad out to try and put her off, and she still averaged 240 for the week. Fantastic.
Here is Voukolos. Girls well in control here. Oh, well, there's the mock. Leaves a nasty split.
How many times have we seen that where teams out in front and that open frame has let the young guys in a chance towards the back end of this game? Great shot, high pocket, really unlucky to lead the 4 and 10. You would have expected possibly one pin to stand, but not to be stood staring down a split.
Well, last week we saw George Voukolos nail a 5-10 split, and this time it's a little bit harder, well, a lot harder, isn't it? A 4-10.
Very tough to get that ball right to the left side of the 4-pin and slide it over to the 10-pin.
Here's Sean bowling. So the hooker does.
Daniel, you think he moved a little bit left on that shot?
I think he moved a little bit with it. Now he's loosened up a little bit more, a bit more relaxed. He's throwing the ball, and that's so important when you're bowling. As soon as you tense up, you just can't get that ball to the mark. And that makes all the difference.
Now Blayne Fletcher. Looking for a turkey for his team, a double for himself.
1-pin game at the moment. Blayne can jump out to a 9-pin lead for his team with another strike here.
Instead he leaves a 5-10 split. Or 2-10.
That's okay, Peter.
2-10, getting there.
We're learning.
It's a split, and we did see Sean pick up this split in the previous game. Let's see if his partner Blayne learnt from Sean and can spare this.
He's hit it front on, so leaves an open frame, so it's back to advantage the girls here now.
Definitely 15 pins in front now, the girls. Going into frame 8. Emma hit the pocket 3 times in a row, only got the 1 strike, which she's been mightily unlucky with.
Here is Emma Walsh. In the 8th frame. Set for a shot. And leaves a split here.
Just hung up on that one just a little bit too much. Got that hold in the oil we were talking about before. Getting a little bit further skid down the lane.
In front by 2. Can she afford to be looking at spare here? Is there a way she could do it?
You would have to bounce out the 3-pin into the 7 and get 1 coming across back at the 9. It's extremely low percentage of getting the spare. I think she's just going to try and get 2.
And misses. So it's 141 to 139 after 8. Rebecca Voukolos looking to bring this match back on track as far as the girls are concerned. They had it in safe keeping.
Yeah, coming off a couple of open frames, there's still 2 pins in front going into the 9th and 10th frame. We have ourselves a tight game again.
One that's going down to the wire. Here is Beck with a strike.
That's the shot. Beautiful ball roll there.
Great strike from her.
That strike in the 9th frame means that Blayne and Sean, even with striking out, can't shut the girls out. But they'll be looking for a strong finish to put pressure on M to step up in an attempt to try and win this match.
With Sean bowling. Makes his shot in the 9th.
Oh.
Quite unfortunate there that he didn't get a strike.
Ball just drove home too hard again. We've seen it in previous weeks. Ball hits the 1-3. Should just bounce off the 5 into the 9, but just go straight through the 5 and past the 9.
The Kegel replay just really highlighted what you said there. Seeing the path of the ball.
It's one of those spares and one of those leaves that we've seen in recent times with the newer equipment that grabs the lane and hooks a bit more, and with the younger generation with that big hooking style, a lot of ball speed, a lot of revolution. They're going to see that lack of deflection through the 1-3-5 and leave. Sometimes they leave a solid 9. It wasn't a hit that we would see in the past. 2-pin game, working on a spare. Blayne really needs to get a double here to put some pressure on M in the 10th frame in this match.
Well, he's been in this position before, and this time he doesn't get the radar right.
Just pushes this one again further to the right. As Jason said a couple of weeks back on the show, the pattern that we're putting down with this invisible oil, making it a little bit more challenging for our bowlers out here today. And they're just, in some cases, struggling to find that consistent line to the pocket. But he clears the spare there.
He gets his spare. Well done, Blayne Fletcher. He has looked to finish off the competition here.
Any decent count in the fill for Blayne, and they're going to be in the mid-170s, and it is going to force M to show up and get at least a spare in the 10th frame to win this match.
Any finish off with a strike. He does.
176 for Blayne and Sean. M. Walsh looking for a spare or better in the 10th frame to win this match and win 2 out of their 3 matches in the Kegel Rolling Thunder.
It won't be enough for either of these teams to go through to the finals. Such has been the terrific performance from David Porto and Matt Riley. Here is Emma Walsh. Love to finish second in this group, in this pool. And, oh,
That was close.
almost getting a strike.
This left off of her hand and misses the headpin to the left, but fortunately almost. Domino effect back to get a strike, and yeah, why not?
So a spare here. We'll see a victory for the girls.
Spare and 6 required.
Oh, 6. Okay. Not to give that away.
Down to the 10th frame again.
Here is Emma Walsh. First job, needs to get the spare and misses.
Took a bit of a different approach for that spare. Using a reactive ball, didn't come up.
So misses and a win to Blayne Fletcher and Sean Bowling. Quite remarkable set of circumstances to see them get the win. But Blayne and Sean finishing their campaign undefeated, but it's a bit of a hollow feeling because they go out on pin count to David Porto and Matt Riley, who will progress through to the final. Well, there's a win here to Blayne and Sean. Daniel, and another match that certainly ebbed and flowed right throughout.
Exactly right. The boys came into this game knowing they needed a 252 game and the win to progress through to the finals. They just couldn't quite get it done. But we thought the match was going to go to the girls until right down to the 10th frame. It was so close.
Yeah, they had a good tournament. The boys going through undefeated, but sadly for themselves, didn't get the pin count needed to go through to the final, but a good match there to finish their campaign. Well, Blayne, undefeated. I know you're going home, but you must feel pretty happy with what you've done over the last few weeks, not losing in this calibre of tournament.
Yeah, definitely. We're very happy with our performance. First time on the cameras, first time on the lights. It's pretty tricky for us youth, but you know, we threw the ball pretty well. We didn't bring our A game. We got lucky in some cases, but yeah, overall, pretty happy with our performance. Disappointed we're not going through the finals.
Sean, after going through what you have done in the last few weeks, this must just really just whet that appetite, doesn't it? Just make you even more hungry to keep going, keep succeeding in the sport.
Very, very much so. We really wanted to get through there. We gave it as much as we could. We just didn't really bring what we really needed to the table, but we still won a couple games. We didn't lose, as you said. Like, we're just happy with how we performed, and we're just looking to do better next time if we get the opportunity.
So here's how Cooley looks after the 3 matches for each of the teams, going through to the final undefeated. David Porto and Matt Riley on 5 points. Also 2 on 5, but they didn't get the pin count needed. Blayne, Fletcher and Sean Bowling. Great tournament for the youngsters. Voukolos and Emma Walsh finishing with 2. And who would have thought this before the tournament started? Jason Belmonte and Sam Cooley on their way home without registering a point.